Hi, I'm Matthew Barnaby. Today I'm doing the Power Play Break, the place to talk pucks.
Back here with Bob, we're talking about his days in Pittsburgh and winning Stanley Cups. Now, Bob Johnson, we were talking about, gets sick. Scotty Bowman is going to come in. They're going to give him the title of interim coach. It's still Bob Johnson's team. And you have the, history from being from Peterborough, and Scotty had been there in the beginning. How did that play out? I mean, was that tough for the team to know that here, the guy who got us to our first cup ever in the history of the team is now sick? Craig Patrick, I heard, went and gave him the Stanley Cup ring ahead of time because they knew there was going to be problems.
Right.
How did the team react to that?
It was tough transition with Scotty coming in. He'd been around, and you weren't going to change. An old dog. You're not going to change. What's it? Is it? Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
And Scotty was going to be Scotty, so it was going to be his way or the highway, really. I mean, and it was vastly different from the way Bob Johnson was with people. And Bob, Scotty wasn't asking me what I had for breakfast. Did you have your oatmeal? No, it wasn't. It was like, what are you doing? So, and we didn't hit it off right away. I mean, I was pretty strong-headed individual. I didn't like change or didn't want to really change my ways, so we didn't hit it off necessarily right away, nor did a lot of players, and we weren't playing that well.
I remember at the beginning of that year, you guys did not come out of the gate strong.
So we had a meeting in Calgary. I remember we had a meeting. I mean, half the players wanted, maybe we should get rid of Scotty. We don't want to play on. And then Craig Patrick kind of leveling things out and saying, let's just come together as a team. Let's do this all for one, and all. Let's see how it goes here, guys. And we started to put the wins together, and things started to get better. I don't even know if we were going to make playoffs for sure at that point on one of our Western Canada trips. So it was tough, but as I found out, like with the first 6, 7, 8 years was with the Penguins, that those ups and downs, make you stronger, build character, and that change to Scotty. I think we all realize that Scotty's just different, and he's not Bob Johnson. So it was going to be different. So let's get along with it. Let's find out how to deal with it. And we have a great team in here, a team that just won the cup, and we can do it again.
Pierre McGuire was an assistant there, and now Pierre is a national TV star on NBC. Do you guys talk about those times when you see him or run into him at all?
Yeah, Pierre. Well, Pierre does. He's got his ring, and Pierre did a lot of pre-scouting and was able to give us information about a lot of things. So I know he had a good relationship with Scotty. So you need all those. You need everybody to be involved to win those kind of things. And yeah, we talk about the old days. We talk about left wing locks, and I don't
that's
know
what Scotty was
called
actually.
it, but
Scotty was actually creating that whole left wing lock.
That's basically what I did at that time. I was a defensive player at that time on my line, especially, and we were up in games. I was backing up. I was playing the left wing lock. I don't know what we were calling it, but I wasn't. There was a prevent defense
because it came out of the '92 Olympics too. Yeah. I remember the USA hockey team had used that over there to, win a lot of games. Now you win that second cup, and are you thinking to yourself, okay, we're on to something here? We've got Trottier, we've got Lemieux, we've got Yager, Tom Barrasso, all these guys here. This is like the Islanders was back, in the '80s. Were you guys all thinking? Were you guys thinking, oh, dynasty? We're going to win 4, maybe 5 of these in a row.
Of course we were. Well, of course we were. I know it's not easy to win because it just isn't. It happened again, the second one, but all the pieces, all the main. We had Mario, so we had the best players. So of course we got a chance here. Great goaltending in Tom Barrasso and all those little pieces that you mentioned. So of course I felt that we could do it again, and the team got off to a great start the next year too. So we had every reason to believe it could be done.
Now you're there, and unfortunately you get traded.
Yeah.
Talk about, some people don't know how difficult that is to be traded. Talk about how much that upsets your life. At that point, you've got to have your wife and kids. Does that really, does it just throw a wrench into everything for you? You're only going to Buffalo, but still, you're being traded.
My first child was born April of that year. And when was I traded? March?
93.
Yeah, March of '93, and he was born in April. So where I was in my life after spending 10 years in Pittsburgh. That was tough on my wife, who was ready to give birth. I was traded to the Buffalo Sabres, so it was close, but nonetheless,
Were you hurt?
oh, of course, I'd given all my
devastated?
life to the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course I was hurt, but I could see some of the writing was on the wall, and my minutes were being limited. And I was traded in the middle of a team that was on a streak to win, a streak of 16 wins in a row, I believe, or 17. Great team that was setting all kinds of records. So I get traded right in the middle of that because they want to go a different direction. And
Who told you? How'd they tell you? Just was it like sometimes some guys have said, I get a phone call,
yeah, I
and
got
it's
a
over.
phone call.
It's over. You're done. You're out of
I
here.
got a phone call, but the first phone call was from a friend back home, Pat Mahoney. He said, "I just heard you got traded to the Buffalo Sabres." I go, "Really?" And this was on the trade deadline for Mike Ramsey. I'd heard from him first, and then right after that, Craig Patrick called, and you know, I wasn't very happy, cordial, and nor did I need to be.
Now you're only there for a little bit. You wind up going to San Jose, and you get named the captain of San Jose. What you said at the beginning of your career, you had guys who were good to show you how to lead and everything. What leadership qualities did you bring to being a captain? That's a young team. It's an expansion
Yeah.
team. You're the second captain in team history.
Yeah.
Doug Wilson had been the first. What did you bring to them?
Honesty, hard work. Just lead by example. I was an alternate captain in Pittsburgh. I'd watched great leaders around me in Francis, Lemieux, Trottier, the list goes on. You know, I thought I knew what a winner looked like, what needed to be, you know, how I could help out, how I could deal with, really a lot of the assignments of a captain is when a player comes there, you know, where do you shop, you know?
Where do you grocery shop? Where do you
All
live?
this stuff. Who can help you out with your family if there's a health issue? Where can your wife go to see a doctor, or where you got to go for a dentist? All the little things you don't even think of. You know, you just put people in touch to make their lives easier. Those are all things captains do under the radar that require a lot of time. And it's not just a captain; it's a captain's wife and family that has to do it. And that's what you do. So I felt I could do all those things. San Jose really welcomed me with a 4-year contract, and I just felt so great about when I first went out there. I couldn't believe it. I'd never been to that,
To a warm weather
that area
place.
there. Yeah, it's like Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and then I go to San Jose, and I just fell
Golf
in love.
courses,
Yeah, I fell in love
beach.
with that city too, and then the city fell in love with the team because it was the first year out of the Cow Palace into the new arena. So it was just. Heck, when we beat Detroit in the playoffs, we had a parade for winning the first round of the playoffs. We had a parade like we won the cup. And I'll tell you, it felt like winning the cup too, because that was Scotty Bowman's Detroit Red Wings, and for me, that was like winning the cup.
Now, you're there only for 2 seasons, and you're going to get reunited in Detroit with your old buddy Steve Yzerman and Scotty Bowman.
And
is
Scotty
there.
again. Yeah.
It must have felt good, though, to be going to a contender, you know, because that was the lockout year. You had 94 was the lockout year, and you guys were only going to play half a season in 95. What was that like for you to come into a team, another team that's loaded with talent?
Yeah.
I mean, it's deep. You know, you got Paul Coffey there. A lot of the same faces you had in Pittsburgh are now with you in Detroit. I mean, how did
I
you
was
try
excited.
to fit in? I mean, was it tough? Was it exciting? Or?
No, because it wasn't tough because they told me I was going to play with Steve Yzerman.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was pretty easy to me. But, you know, Steve Yzerman at that time, things weren't going great for him. I mean, you know, he was looking for some answers too, and so was I. And, you know, I was reunited with him, but we'd grown our separate ways over the years. It's not as if we talked every day, so. I was excited to get the opportunity to play on a great team. And boy, was that team great! As we know, they went on to win a bunch of cups. But I was excited about it. At that point, I'd been to a couple of different cities, so I was excited about an opportunity. I wasn't afraid, or I knew kind of what to expect. And
They were predicted to win,
Yeah.
you know, to go to the finals that
Yeah.
year. I mean, so was New Jersey after
Yeah.
the year they had before that. I mean, so you're there playing. I mean, and now you guys make the finals, and everyone's thinking, okay, Detroit wins this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. Were you guys shocked when you lost the first game at home against the Devils that year?
yeah, well, you know, we still have the record for most wins, I think, in season. Beat the Montreal Canadiens record, so we're proud of that. After we started out 5-5-2, and we were 10-2 in the playoffs, I think, going to the Devils series. But They had great defense, and that trap. And Scotty Bowman once said, "If you're trapped by the trap, then you're trapped." It didn't make a lot of sense, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah.
So Niedermeyer scores a big goal.
Dowd gets that goal in game 2 in front of the Nets when Coffey's down hurt.
And that's the game, and then it just went downhill from there. We just couldn't refocus after that.
Playing with Steve, though, must have been fun for you there. I mean, did you bring back memories of your time in juniors? I mean, like, hey, we tried this. Let's see if it works here. You doing that kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I'd just take off and he'd put it up there and that'd be that. But, I mean, he was, at that point he had been through a lot of ups and downs in his career too. And he was just hoping to stay. There was some talk about his career moving on to Ottawa, but, as we know, he turned out to be one of the greatest captains in league history ever, because of some of the situations he was able to endure and turn himself into one of the great two-way players. That's the thing. I mean, he's such a competitor. I mean, he didn't need, at that point, he didn't need to score 40, 50 goals. Sergei Fedorov, he had, blah, 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 on and on and on. I mean, Dino Ciccarelli, Ray Shepard, you get a million guys that could score goals. So he became then a great two-way player, a great leader, and really challenged everybody around him.
Now, you guys come up short. And then the next year, you guys play Colorado and have that awful conference final where Lemieux does the whole thing and everything.
Right.
Did you guys think we're getting derailed? I mean, did you guys think, we're we're not overachieving, but we're not getting our breaks. The breaks aren't coming our way. We should be winning these games, and we should be going to the finals, not those guys.
Yeah, you start to feel that way, but longer I've been around this business, I mean, there's no guarantees. You just know that now. I mean, you can have the best team in the world, and then just gotta get bounces. You gotta make your own breaks, yes, but you need good calls. You need breaks. I mean, it all plays into it, and you wonder. Sometimes when you least expect it, great things happen to you, and when you're expecting the best, it just doesn't go that way. So I knew the team was great, and I knew that cups were on the horizon.
Now, what was the difference from Scotty coaching you in Pittsburgh and coaching you in Detroit? Did you notice differences, or was it the same guy you met?
No, I mean, I think first of all, I'd been through the business a little more, so I had more respect for him and why I was moved, and I think vice versa. Personally, he had more respect for me, and or he wouldn't have got me back. And I think we have a great relationship right now. I know we do. And when you're in there, sometimes you can't see it. Now you
step back.
You step back. You get a better picture, and you understand why things happen sometimes. And sometimes you still don't understand why things happen in hockey. But that's just the game.
Now you're there. '97. You wind up back in San Jose, and they go on to win the first of their 2 cups. Were you disappointed that here you are all of a sudden? You're not part of that team now.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little disappointed, but then again, I was drafted in '83, and I'm still playing here. So I mean, I had a lot of fun along the way and played with great teams. I mean, for a long time, and I was just great to be part of them. I was disappointed. Yeah, I wanted that.
You wanted the ring.
The ring that I lost against the Devils was still the one disappointment that I have in the game to this day, that team that I was with at that year did not win.
Now you wind up after that going to Dallas, and you said you finished in New York.
Yeah.
When did you know it was over? I mean, when did you wound up going down to the Wolfpack?
Right.
When did you start to realize, the run is coming to a close, and it's time to move on? When did you start to realize?
I went to Hartford and scored 10 goals first 10 games in the American Hockey League. And Bobby Smith, then with Phoenix, said he was going to maybe rearrange my contract to get me there. It didn't happen, and after that, I had lost my. I can't play unless I'm playing with your heart's into it. And my family were waiting on a move somewhere, so they had stayed back in Canada as I was trying to make my way back to the National Hockey League. It didn't happen, so I lost my desire at that point, and I realized that it wasn't going to happen for me, and regardless of what I did, I wasn't even a goal scorer, and things were working out for me. And if they weren't, I gave it my all and my best shot there. But so went back to Pittsburgh, and
They talk about the transition to a broadcasting. How did you wind up becoming the analyst for TV for the Penguins?
Well, I tried out back with the Penguins the following year. After the Rangers had let me go, I thought maybe I could break in with the Penguin team there. I didn't have a great camp, but I thought it was good enough to make the team. It didn't happen, and I was, ready to go on with my next part of my life. And the Penguins came in and offered me an opportunity to go on radio and call it that way, and I had no idea. So I said I'll give it a shot 1 year, and then we'll see from there. So I did it 1 year, did it another year, and the Penguins were so bad I decided I was going to try out again. So after 2 years of calling radio, I don't know if you knew this.
No, I didn't know this.
Okay. So after 2 years of being retired,
That'd be what, like 2002, somewhere in there?
Yeah, it was 2001 because it was 9/11, 2001. We had got called off the ice. 9/11, 2001. That big day in history. And we were all looking there. So that's how I remember that tryout. But I had one of the best tryouts I've ever had in my 17, 18 years of trying out. I had scoring goals, which wasn't. I was hitting guys. I was doing everything. It was just like as if the broadcasting up top, and I got in best shape because I had skated like 6 in the morning by myself all summer. So I was ready to come back and make the hockey team because I thought the team at that point was so bad that I could make this team, seriously. So I remember being out there on the ice and had a great camp, and actually should have made the team. I pulled my groin right as the exhibition games were just starting, so I only got one exhibition game. And Craig Patrick, who let me go in Pittsburgh, decided that evidently that I wasn't good enough to make his team. I'll to this day disagree wholeheartedly and honestly. And but I'll thank him for actually, because then if I had played that year, may have only played for a bit, and would have lost this job of
doing the TV world now.
Radio and television.
What's the difference now for you doing broadcast as to playing? What's different with the preparation for you? I mean, what do you see differently than like the average person at home?
What do I see when
you're watching a game? Do you pick it apart? I mean, you have to kind of analyze the plays that are going on.
Yeah.
I mean, do you say, "Oh God, that guy should have done this," or he should have tried?
Yeah, I think I've learned a lot. When I first, I think I focused on the negative too much instead of bringing out the greatness in the game. And the team wasn't very good in Pittsburgh, so then I realized how to turn that into just saying how great the other guys were until the Penguins got better. And then focus on the positive things, the improvements in players' games, just the little things that happen in the game and how people work to get to the level they're at, and appreciating, maybe putting myself more in that situation, remembering when I was a player, hey, this, it didn't work out for you either, Bob, so why are you trying to come down hard on somebody? So I think embracing the game, selling the game, not just to kids, but to the vast
TV audience.
Yeah, I mean, in Pittsburgh, we have old fans that were involved in the 90 Cups, new fans of 2009 Cups. We have a great audience in Pittsburgh. So I'm trying to sell the game to everybody and kind of explain some of the things that people just take for granted. So I don't think you can say too much simplicity. That sometimes you think it's just simple hockey 101, but a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Even to this day, why is there a penalty, or why did this happen, or why did it? So don't take anything for granted, I think is what I'm trying to say. It's like anything in life, don't take it for granted, and so I try to bring it across.
We'll have more with Bob after this.